Most folks reckon our grandparents slept easy 'cause life back then was simpler, slower, less to worry on, less to carry into the night. Truth is, friend, it weren't simpler at all, weren't easy neither. It was something they did, same time, same order, every single night of their lives. A ritual, plain and steady, that told the body, the day is done now, rest. I tell you, in all my years, I don't recall a single night my grandfather Elias skipped his evening habits. Not once. Not through storms, not through sickness, not through grief. And I come to believe that steadiness was the very heart of why he rested so deep, night after night, while the rest of us tossed and turned some evenings, wondering why sleep wouldn't come. Folks keep asking me the same question over and over ever since I started telling these old tales. Silas, how'd you all sleep so sound back in them days? No pills, no noise machines humming in the corner, no screens glowing blue in the dark hours before bed. Just a body that lay down tired and more nights than not woke up new. I used to think on that question a good long while before I had an answer worth giving. Took me some years, truth be told, to see what was right in front of me the whole time. My grandfather used to say, a man who don't ready himself for bed is like a horse put up wet and muddy after a hard ride. You wouldn't do that to an animal you loved and depended on. Why'd you do it to yourself then? Laying down still wound up tight as a fiddle string from the day's troubles. See, we didn't just fall into bed of an evening, same as dropping a sack of grain. We walked into it, slow, like wading into a cold creek, one careful step at a time. Each step cooled the body down a little more, quieted the busy mind a little further, and told the whole self, piece by piece, the day is behind you now, friend. Let it go. I recall one autumn evening. I couldn't been more than 9 years old, restless as a barn cat, still full of the day's running and shouting and chasing Tommy round the hen house. And my grandmother Eleanor caught me trying to sneak past my bedtime, hoping for just one more hour of play. And she looked at me with them tired, knowing eyes and said, Silas, the night don't wait for boys who fight it. Best you learn to walk with it instead of against it. I didn't understand her then. Thought she was just being stern, same as grown folks always seem to be about bedtime. I understand her a good deal better now, all these years on. Tonight, I aim to walk you through that old ritual, piece by piece, the one near forgotten in this fast humming world of yours, a world full of glowing screens and buzzing notifications and worries that follow a man clean into his bed. Might be, come the end of this tale, you'll find your own rest coming easier than it has in some time. But I'll tell you plain, the first piece of that ritual weren't what you'd expect at all. Weren't about lying still or counting sheep or any such thing. It started long before a body ever laid eyes on the bed itself. So pull your chair close to the fire, settle in, and let old Silas tell it proper, start to finish, same as my grandfather told it to me. Elias, my grandfather, was a man of few words but firm habits, and there weren't a habit firmer than that whole cabin than his evening washing. Come every night, regular as the setting sun itself, he'd fetch the wash basin from its shelf and a bar of his own tallow soap made right there on the property, and he'd clean himself of the day's dust and sweat, same as he had every single evening before it, stretching back further than I could rightly count. weren't just about being clean, mind you. A man could get clean plenty of ways. This was about telling the body something was changing, that one part of the day had closed and another was opening up. He'd say, "Silas, the day's work stays on your skin till you wash it off proper. Carry the field into your bed. Don't be surprised none when your mind's still plowing at midnight, still chopping wood in your dreams, same as you did all afternoon." I watched him do it 1,000 evenings, near as I can figure, maybe more. Cool water on his face and neck first, splashed up with both hands, then his arms up to the elbow, working the soap in slow and thorough, and his feet last of all, always last. He claimed cool water on the feet drew the heat clean out of a man's head, settled his thoughts same as it settled his blood after a hard day's labor. Now, I weren't no doctor, and neither was he, and I can't rightly say if that's true for every soul the same way, or if it was just his own way of explaining something he couldn't rightly put words to otherwise. But I tell you, there does seem to be something to a body cooling down before sleep. Our modern folks these days speak of it too, though they dress it up in fancier words than Elias ever used round our supper table. Something about the body's own inner clock, drawn along by the falling of temperature as night comes on, telling it plain that rest is near. After the washing was done, he'd change out of his field shirt, heavy with the day's work, into a soft, worn nightshirt kept for no other purpose in this world. That shirt never saw daylight, never touched a plow handle or an axe or a fence post. It was set aside, near sacred in its way, for resting and resting alone, same as a man's Sunday coat was set aside for church. I asked him once, "Why bother with such fuss for sleep, Grandpa? Ain't it simpler just to lay down as you are, tired as you already feel?" He set his heavy hand on my shoulder, the way he always did when he meant to teach me something worth remembering, and said, "Simpler ain't always better, boy. A man who dresses for rest tells his whole body without saying a word, it's time to rest now. You dress for work of a morning, you're ready for work. Same principle applies come nightfall, only backwards." I reckon there's a lesson buried deep in them old habits of his, about the small signals we give ourselves, quiet as they seem at the time, adding up over the years to something a good deal more powerful than they first appeared to a boy watching from the corner. But washing up and changing into that old nightshirt was only the beginning of what went on in that cabin come evening. My grandmother Eleanor, she had her own ritual entire, moving through the house same as Elias moved through his washing, and hers might have mattered even more than his, though I didn't come to see that till later.
While Elias tended to himself at the wash basin, Eleanor tended to the house, and I mean to tell you, that woman had a ritual of her own, quiet and steady as a hymn sung low in an empty church. Come dusk, soon as the light started turning gold and long across the yard, she'd move room to room, closing the shutters one by one, checking the latch on the door not once but twice, always twice, and banking the fire down to a low, gentle glow, rather than letting it roar on through the night same as it had all evening. She called it putting the house to bed, same as she'd put a child down for the night, tucking it in snug and safe. I recollect asking her once why she fussed so over them shutters when nobody was coming round at that hour anyhow, nor likely to. She told me, "Silas, it ain't about who's coming. It's about telling your own heart the house is safe. The day's troubles are shut outside where they belong, and you can rest easy within these walls till morning comes again." There was wisdom in that I didn't grasp as a boy, too young yet to understand such things. Seems a mind that don't feel settled won't sink into deep rest easy, no matter how tired the body's grown from a hard day's labor. Eleanor's ritual, All them small locked doors, bimmed candles, and checked latches weren't just habit for habit's sake, repeated without reason. They were her way of quieting the watchful part of the mind that don't rest easy till it knows, clear and certain, that all is well. She'd bank the fire last of all, once every shutter was closed and every latch checked twice over, raking the coals into a small mound with the iron poker and covering them with ash to keep a low ember through the night, ready to breathe back to life come morning with just a little kindling and patience. The room would dim to nothing but a soft orange glow, barely enough to see your own hand by if you held it up close. Real darkness, honest darkness, was something we had plenty of back then, more than folks these days seem to have at all. There weren't a lantern burning past need in that house, nor a candle left flickering just for comfort's sake alone. Eleanor believed rest came easier with true dark surrounding a body, same as a seed needs buried soil, dark and quiet to sprout proper come spring. My little brother Tommy, he used to fight that darkness something fierce more nights than I could count, crying for a candle to stay lit, scared half to death of shadows in the corner that weren't nothing but his own coat hung on a peg. Eleanor never scolded him none that, not once that I recall. She'd simply sit by his bed a spell, humming low and slow some tune without particular words to it, until his eyes grew heavy despite himself and his fear would disappear. Funny thing is, once the fear passed and the dark set in proper, Tommy slept sounder than any child I ever did know in all my years. Sounder even than boys twice his age who fought their fear clean through the night. Now, closing up the house was near enough to done by that hour. Shutters closed, fire banked, latches checked twice over. But there was one more piece left to the evening, the piece Tommy loved best of all in this whole wide world. And I reckon it's the piece most folks these days have forgotten entire, buried under all their bright lights and busy evenings. Here's the piece of the ritual I reckon folks miss the most of all. The stories told before the fire burned low and the whole house settled into sleep. Before that fire got banked down to embers by Eleanor's steady hand, we'd all gather round it one last time, drawing our chairs and stools in close, and someone would tell a tale. Weren't always me telling it back then, mind you, though it come to be my place in later years. Sometimes it was Elias, spinning some old yarn from his own boyhood, tales his own father had told him by a fire much like ours. Sometimes Eleanor, humming a low, wandering tune with no particular words to it at all, just sound and warmth drifting through the room. Tommy lived for them stories, more than he lived for anything else in his short, busy days. He'd curl up close to the hearth, chin resting on his knees, arms wrapped round his legs, eyes wide as saucers, hanging on every single word like his life itself depended on hearing the end of it. I asked Elias once why we bothered with tales every single night, same as the washing and the shutting up of the house. Couldn't we just go straight to bed, tired as we already were from the day? He said, Silas, a mind full of the day's worries won't lay down easy, no matter how much the body begs for rest. You gotta give it something else to hold on to first, something gentle, something slow and known, so it lets go of the sharp edges of the day one at a time. Made a good deal of sense to me even then, young as I was. Them tales, they weren't about excitement or surprise, not like the tales children beg for these days, full of twists and frights. Quite the opposite, truth be told. They were slow, familiar, often heard a dozen times before that very night, word for word the same. There weren't no tension pulling at your chest, no wondering how it'd end since you already knew, just a warm, known path for the mind to wander down, drifting further and further from the day's troubles with every word spoken. I recall the night Tommy chased a fox clear through Miller's orchard, chasing it further than it meant to go, and scraped his knee something awful on a fallen branch, coming home crying fit to wake the dead in the churchyard a mile off. Elias didn't scold him none for it, didn't lecture him on wandering too far. He simply sat him down by the fire, cleaned the scrape careful with a wet cloth, and told him the same old story of the three brothers and the wandering mule, a tale Tommy had heard 100 times if he'd heard it once in his life. By the story's end, Tommy's tears had dried clean up, his breathing slow and even, his scraped knee forgotten entire, same as the fox that started the whole chase. He was asleep before Elias even finished speaking the last line of that old familiar tale. That's the power of them old firelight stories as far as I can tell after all these years of thinking on it. Not novelty, not surprise, familiarity, plain and simple. A mind wearied by the unknown, worn thin by a day full of surprises and troubles, finds its rest in the known, in what's been heard before and holds no more fear. But even after the story is told and the fire's near out, banked down to its last glowing embers, there was one last step Elias never once skipped, rain or shine, summer or dead of winter, and it might be the simplest piece of the whole ritual. The last piece of the ritual, and might be the simplest of the lot, plainest of all, was the walk. Elias never failed, rain or shine, warm evening or bitter cold enough to freeze a man's breath solid, to step outside just before turning in for the night and stand beneath the open sky a spell, still and quiet. Sometimes alone, wanting the solitude of it, sometimes with me tailing along behind him, half asleep on my feet already, wondering why we bothered when a warm bed waited just inside. He'd look up at them stars, quiet as a church on Monday morning when the whole congregation's gone home, and just breathe slow and even. No words most nice, none needed, just standing, looking, breathing the cold or warm night air deep into his chest. I asked him once what he was doing out there, staring up at nothing in particular that I could see, the same stars every single night of the year. He said, "Silas, a man's got to remind his eyes what real dark and real light look like, else his body starts forgetting the difference between the two. Ain't no candle, no lantern a man could build matches the truth of them stars up there." I didn't understand the deeper truth in that till many years on, long after he was gone from this world. Our bodies back then knew day from night the honest way, by the sun's rising and setting, same as it had for all the time, by starlight and true darkness, not by no flickering artificial glow confusing the mind past midnight, telling it lies about what hour it truly was. Elias's nightly walk seemed his way of setting his own inner clock straight, same as winding a pocket watch each evening so it kept true time. Some nights we'd hear the call of a distant owl out past the tree line, or crickets singing their steady chorus out in the tall grass beyond the fence. Elias always said them sounds were the world itself telling us it was time to rest too, same as us. Ain't no rush to it, he'd say. Ain't no hurry in the whole wide world. Just the slow, certain turning of the earth toward sleep, same as it turned every single night since the beginning. By the time we came back inside, closing the door soft behind us, the house dim and quiet and settled, the fire banked low and glowing faint, I'll tell you my whole body felt heavy and ready for rest,
same as a wagon wheel worn smooth and easy from a long day's travel down a familiar road. We'd climb into them beds then, cool sheets against tired skin, dark room all around, mind still drifting on the last story told by the fire, and rest would take us, more nights than not, without much fighting, without much tossing about, searching for sleep that wouldn't come. I've walked you through the whole of it, friend, start to finish, washing, shutting up the house, storytelling by the fire, and stargazing beneath that wide open sky. And I reckon there's one last thing worth saying before I let you go on your own way tonight.
Now, I reckon you're wondering, Old Silas, why bother telling such a simple tale, plain as it is? Ain't nothing fancy about washing up, closing shutters, telling old stories, and staring at stars, same as folks done for all the time. But that's the very heart of it, friend. The whole lesson wrapped up in its simplicity. It weren't fancy, it weren't complicated, it was steady, and it was repeated. Same time, same order, most every single evening of their lives, year in and year out, without fail. Our bodies, I've come to believe, after all these years of watching and thinking on it, crave that steadiness something fierce, more than we credit them for. Same as a river needs its banks to flow true and steady toward the sea, our minds and bodies seem to need them nightly signals, one after another in their proper order, telling us plain and clear, the day is done, the night has come, now rest, friend, now rest. They didn't have no clocks ticking loud in their ears past midnight, no bright lights fooling their eyes long past sundown, no worries chasing them clean into their dreams, same as hounds after a fox. They had washing and shutting and storytelling and starlight, simple as that, nothing more and nothing less. And more nights than not it served them well, serving them faithful as an old dog. I lost my grandfather Elias many winters back now, more than I care to count some days, and my grandmother Eleanor not long after him, following him same as she'd followed him through near 60 years of marriage. But I tell you, their ritual lives on in me still, every single night. Even now, old as I am, bent and slow, I find myself closing up the cabin the very same way they taught me all them years ago, washing the day off my skin, dimming the fire low, telling myself some quiet, familiar tale before I lay down to rest. And I rest easier for it, friend, most nights, same as I did as a boy, curled up by that old hearth, listening to Elias's voice tell of the three brothers and their wandering mule. Might be there's something in it for you too, out there in your fast, bright, hurried world, full of all them things Elias never had to contend with in his day. Might be your own rest is waiting on nothing more than a little steadiness, a little quiet ritual, walked the same way each and every night, same as an old man walking the same worn path to his own front door. Give it a try, won't you, friend? Wash the day off, same as Elias done. Dim the lights, same as Eleanor's careful hands. Tell yourself something familiar and gentle before you lay your head down. Step outside a moment if you can manage it, and look up at them same old stars Elias once showed me so many years ago now. I reckon you'll rest sounder for it, same as we always did. Till next time, friend, this is Old Silas wishing you a peaceful night and a restful morning to follow, same as always.